Greetings friends and fellow cigar box guitar enthusiasts. Just a quick update. This is part 2 of a 3-part trilogy on this archtop. It's a Arturo Fuente. It's got a clock on it. It says forbidden on here. I'm kind of covering up the forbidden. Yeah, so I've got 3 of these going on, and each one of us is in various stages here. This very first one has got 2 mistakes already built into it. So thankfully I'm getting my mistakes out on the first one, and then the second 2 are benefiting from the mistakes that are being made on this one here. I'm not going to show you the mistakes just yet. When I do show them to you, you're gonna agree with me that they are mistakes. But there is actually a lot to be learned, I think, from building this style. And what I mean by this style is, let me just kind of open it up here and I'll show you. This is a different style for me of building. What I'm doing is I'm actually connecting. Well, I haven't yet, but the goal is that I'm going to connect the top here. Let me set this down. I'll show you the bottom here in a little bit. I'm going to connect with this screw right here underneath my index finger here, this screw, and this screw here in the back are going to screw the top down onto the neck. And also the screws that are holding the hinge on will also be attaching the top to the neck also. So these 2 screws here, and then these 3 here. And then the piezo and the pickup have both been hot glued, and I got that pickup at the right height. So one other thing I'm going to point out is these cuts here, these were cut out using the scroll saw, and I got the perfect little 3 of them. These things are the exact size of a pickup. Ta-da! Yeah, whatever. So, aren't those cool? Throwing them in the trash. Okay, and remember how I did tell you that there's a raised logo here, and so this is raised, but yet my board from the neck is going to sit across here, so it's going to sit across this raised part, which it's going to tilt it. Well, so what I ended up having to do is put this washer on there, and that suspends this part here from that raised part, so it makes my neck flat. I knew that was going to be a challenge when I saw that. I was like, oh crap, what am I going to do here? So now the neck plane and the plane of this are the same. If that little washer wasn't in there, then this guy would be tilted just a little bit. Like that, unacceptable. What's another challenge? Oh yeah, so I'm having to really dig through with the Fosner bit because of this arch top is so thick. It's like that's literally how thick it is. Yeah, so I remember having to carve out a lot just to get that potentiometer to come up to the top. Let me show you a couple of tricks that I'm doing now. Actually, was it that one here? No, it's the next one. I got 3 of them, and they all look identical. So it's easy to get them confused. It's like, hey, you! No, you! No, you! Is aligning them. So here's the trick. So what I did is I found the center of this arc here, and of course I used this little symmetrical ruler. It's got the center, and then it's got measures on both sides. That way I can really quickly identify where the center of any given box is just by comparing the right to the left side there. It's a handy little tool. So I found the center here, and then I just went ahead and drilled that hole and drilled it into here. So you notice I still have wiggle room on this side. So I want this guy to be centered perfectly. So I did the same thing. I got my center tool here, found the center, marked it, then I put a little alignment mark here on the neck so you can tell exactly when the center of the neck is in alignment there. And so now I'm going to reverse drill. Now that I got this thing perfectly aligned, I'm going to drill a hole from this side all the way through so it pops out on the top with this thing in perfect alignment. So that way I know on the top side, there's no guessing where the center of this board is. That way I can center up perfectly the hinge. Oh, man, I'm telling you what, mental hopscotch, mental hopscotch. I'm not used to thinking. I'm just used to like building, you know, filing, sanding, carving, whatever. This time I'm having to think, and it's reverse. You know, it's upside down, whatever you want to call it. So, the first one was slow. The second one was a little faster. The third one is actually benefiting of the mistakes of the first one and the second one. Not there's any mistakes on the second one. There's just learnings on the second one. Taking my time to figure it out. But oh yeah, one last hint, or not hint, but strategy to keep in mind. So the inside is felt, and it's really hard to keep the dust off of these things, right? You're constantly upside down and banging it. The back side is also felt. So the challenge is not so much keeping the top side shiny, is keeping all that dirt off the felt. That has been actually more of a challenge than keeping it shiny. Keeping it shiny is actually pretty easy. Excuse me. But here's a cool little trick. What I did is I got just regular old paper towel, the generic version, garden variety version, and just lay this out on the table, and then lay the box. And I tell you what, man, here, I'll show you. It just looks, it's clean. And then whenever you do get this a little bit dirty, just dump it in the trash. Rinse and repeat. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm going to try to get as far as I can tonight before it's time to go to bed. And then you'll have to tune in to part 3 to see and hear the final setup of these things. So, see you around the webs.